going to make a fees system for this database, and it's going to help us to understand some important points. There's going to be some different data types. There's going to be some validation. We're going to look again at relationships and so on. Let's get started. So I wanted a table for fees. I'm going to record the fees that a student owes for their group, say. So if I go into a table called TBL fees and fee ID, which is the unique identifier for each one. I don't think we're going to use that field, but we always need to have a primary key, which is the unique identifier. So the fields I've decided to include in this one are the amount due, how much we're going to pay. We're going to make this a currency. I mean, you could easily make it a number, but currency has got it formats more nicely in reports and so on, and it's got a couple of other things. And while I'm looking at currency, I'm just going to talk about validation rules. So obviously there's some things that we want when it comes to the amount due. For the most obvious one would be that you can't have it as a negative amount. You want to have has to be positive. So if you are in that field and you click down here in the validation rule and click the dit thing, it comes up with this slightly daunting dialog. But if we click that little link there, it's got some information, which is all we need. Probably you can read the whole thing. You know, if you're feeling advanced, you could definitely go in here and it's not hard. It's really not hard. But if you're looking for quick and dirty, I just want to do something that will work. There's something like here, currency field can't be negative. We're going to copy that because we're so lazy and just paste that. Click there, paste that, and click OK. So now our currency has to be positive, which is really nice. And we can actually include validation text and say must be positive number. That'll do. So amount due, I was also going to put in a date due. When is it due? And again, obviously that we need to change the field type, date, time. There's a bunch of other stuff we're going to do for this one as well. So for instance, we can select a format for date, time. I quite like for something like this, obviously a time is pointless and I don't particularly like these verbose long dates. I kind of like this short date. The only ambiguity there is if you're American, you might think that's the other way round. You might think that's the 11th of December. But it should work out okay on whoever's computer. We can also put an input mask on that. Save. And the input mask, I'm going to put this input mask, and is in this try it field. It means that you're kind of forced to type in the correct format. 12, whatever. So we'll go with that. I don't want you to actually do anything. That was just the try it. Okay, so next. And input mask here would be perfect. All right, that'll do for now. And we can also put some validation rules on those as well. Same deal. And if we just go back to here, it will say, you know, disallow date values in the past, whatever. I'm not going to do any of that right now, but you, in the course of doing your assessment particularly, if you can be thoughtful about any validation rules you put on, that's going to be great. I'm also going to put an amount paid. So for every fee that becomes due, we should be recording the amount that has actually been paid for that fee somehow or other. Obviously currency again. It's not the only way to do this, but it will work. And of course we need to record who the fee is for, the student ID. And of course we don't put in names or anything like that, because all we need is to put in the ID of the student in the students table, and that will have all of that information there. That'll do for now. Let's just check what that looks like. Looks perfect. And let's go into our relationship and add that table and set the relationship up. So the relationship is that basically we need to know which student has any particular fee that applies to them. Tick, 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 one-to-many relationship. One student can have many fees applied to them. Done. And if I just close and save that, so now in my students table, let's pick a student, Leo Schwarzel 16011. Everyone remember that? And let's go into the fees table. So I'm going to set that 16011, was that the right one? Has an amount due of $20, and it is due. Let's put a date in. Let's say I'm going to put a date in the past for the purpose of the next video, 1605201.9, and that fee is now overdue. We'll see what to do with that, like I say, in the next video.